Hey guys, and I'm here for you today with the second to last in our WordPress theming series. This is a series where I built my personal site in front of your eyes, so you could learn from it and learn how to theme for WordPress. Many people asked me to do this series, so I've finally done it. It's been really long. I calculated that, but by the time I finish this series, I'll have done 9 hours worth of video just on this series. So I don't rehash anything I've said in previous videos. In the other videos, we just carry on from where we left off. So if you are watching this video but you have seen the other videos, please go back and check the other videos. Because I'm not gonna rehash everything I've said. In this video, what we're going to be doing is cleaning up some extra little bits. Not a lot of WordPress stuff in that video, WordPress specific stuff, but just general CSS site building stuff. And then the video that follows that, we're gonna push the theme live, and we're gonna, during that process, we're gonna change some stuff that only pertains to my site, that I can only put on once it goes live. Because as you know, if you've watched the other videos, currently I'm developing on a local install. So with that said, we're gonna just dive in. So the first thing I kind of thought we'd do in Intangibles is, when I was demonstrating it, we started outputting metadata. We've just got the author there. In my case, this person account's called Tess, but I feel like we should offer more info on when the content was posted, what category it's in, how many comments it's got, that kind of thing. So we're gonna add that. We're also gonna rectify the fact that when you go to a page, the page title is a link. We rectified that for post, but we didn't do that for pages. So we're gonna do that. We may also implement some jQuery along the way. So let's just dive in and not waste any more time. The first thing I think we're gonna do, just to simple, is get rid of the fact that when you're on a page, even the name of that page is a link, because you don't need when you're on a page, you don't need the title of that page to link to itself. So let's stop that from happening. So we're going to go into our page template, because like we said, that's the one that controls static pages, and we're going to get rid of the link around the H2 tag. So it's just going to be a H2 tag with the title printed in it, and no other no other bits. So there's no link there. Now it's just the title, and get rid of the trailing A tag there. Save that and refresh. And we see we no longer have a link there, which is nice. Makes more sense for the user. And next comes something with the navigation. At the moment, nothing happens to the navigator when you hover over it, so you don't get any visual feedback. we're going to rectify that. The first thing we're going to do is, you see right now we're on the about page. So if we look at the link that got us to the about page, which is obviously the about link, it's got the list item. It's got a class of current page item. That's a cool feature that WordPress does by default, because it means we can target that. So if when you click on a page, add some visual styles to make it look like the current page. Another cool thing is, if we look in the footer, you can notice we've got a repeat of the navigation, as we talked about in a previous video. So if we look inside that, no matter which one you click on, the about page will always have that class of current page item and give you that visual feedback. If we go onto the search results page, for example, and we'll just use the footer as the example, although like I've just shown, it doesn't matter which. The search results is the last link in the navigation, as you can see, and it has a class of current page item. So let's use that current page item class to actually do something. So we're going to go into our CSS, which we're going to clean up some of these tabs as they get a bit unwieldy. So that's for another website we were using in a previous tutorial. We don't need the sidebar for now either. Don't need the header. So we've just got the style sheet. So we've already got a target to a class of current page item in there, but it's not styling anything. So let's try and figure out why that is. It's underscore, not dashes. I put dashes. That makes sense. So let's get that altered. So on the search results page, so the search results have the current page item class, and if we go down, search results in the footer also have a current page item class. You notice we've got this weird double border situation going on, because we've got a border to act as that big thick underline, but then we've also got the underline that's default for all links. So what we're going to do to combat that is we're going to tell it for all links in either of the navigations don't display underlines. So we can do that. We can do that in the menu ULI, because that's common between both. So we only have to tell it once. Oh no, actually it's the anchor link that's underlined, so we need to target the anchor link. So I'm just gonna set up a new selector. Menu UL LI A, and the only thing that's going to do is say text decoration none. What that means is when we because we're using a double border for the current navigation, that means the underline won't bother us. So that's what it looked like before, two underlines. And that's what it looks like now. So just a lot cleaner, and it's the same for the footer as well. One thing I've noticed is the links in the footer are really squashed up. So let's do something like that. Here's that target for a HTML5 menu in the footer, because remember we're doing that. So that's targeting both the paragraph element and the anchor tag. So let's create a thing here that's just the anchor tags in the footer. Give them some padding. We only want to do it on the right, so that's 0 on the top. We'll have 5 pixels on the right, 0 on the bottom, and 0 on the left. So you do it in the same order a clock, basically. Get that saved. That's before, and that's after. So they're just a little more separated. In fact, we could probably do with even a bit more. And I'm going to use some attribute or not pseudo elements here and pseudo elements are a CSS thing, and it is basically a way to say insert something after each of these elements. So I'm going to say in both nav elements, actually, so I'll put it up here. So we're going to target both our menus. We're not going to specify the header or the footer because we want it in both. List items with anchor links in them. Now we're going to say after the anchor links, and that's the part that's the pseudo element. That's the after bit. That's not supported in older browsers, but we might rectify that later with some jQuery. So let's just do the CSS way for now for newer browsers. So we're going to say content, and we're just going to put in what we want, which is going to be I'm getting confused at the moment because I'm using a Windows keyboard on the Mac, so the keys are all wrong. So I'm struggling to get the special character that I want. Just give me a second. There we go. So that'll act as a separator from each of the links. Save that and refresh. It's immediately after, so what I'm going to do is just add into the actual content itself. Just going to add a space. So that it will add a space. We're just going to tidy this up a bit. Save it. Refresh. And it looks really good. We should maybe even use a pseudo selector to take the last bit off. So let's do that. Again, this isn't supported in Internet Explorer, so we're gonna have to do that with jQuery, or just leave it out at all, which wouldn't kill Internet Explorer users. Oh no, actually we'll have to. So I'm just going to say, in either of our menus, on the list items, anchor tags. After, but I'm then going to specify so we go that it's only for the last one that we don't want to show any content. So the way we show no content is just some empty quotation marks, and hopefully that should have got the last one. So that's what it looked like before. It looks good, but it's better without the trailing one on the end. So if we refresh, it didn't go away. We'll tackle that later then. Not a huge deal. So let's deal with these this author information. We're gonna have to alter this on the on the both the index.php and the single.php, because we want it to be different on single post as well. So we'll start with the display of a single post. go back, and we obviously for the single post we want the single little PHP file. So as we can see, we've got the author printed out, but we probably just want a bit more of the author. And what we're actually going to do is put it in paragraph tags, but we're going to put the individual element in spans. So we're going to say class of meta info and then inside there we're going to have some elements. The first one's going to be a span. With the class, and this is so we can manage these things independently. So we're going to have a span with a class of date, which we're going to use the WordPress function, the date, to echo out the date it was posted. So open our PHP, echo the date, what other information do we want? Well, we can just copy this because it's not going to be that different. We're not going to do anything particularly fancy with the metadata. Some people have fancy displays where they split it all up and do some quite cool stuff with it, but we're not going to do that. As is the mantra with this whole theme, we're just going to have a clean, simple theme. So I'm going to copy that span. So I'm not sure how many we'll actually end up needing, but I just did that as a provisional thing. Actually, we won't do author because it's a bit silly because I'm the only one that's gonna post into this blog. So I was gonna do author, but we don't actually need it on reflection. But what we do need is the the category that it was posted in. So we're just going to call that cat PHP echo. And I always forget how to spell category, so I'm not going to embarrass myself. I'm just going to look it up. Actually, Lion has autocorrect, so let's just go. Perhaps that's right. Refresh the page. Yeah, I spelled it right. We got the full date and a link to where it was posted. So that looks really good. But we're gonna do a few changes to it. For one thing, we're gonna try and customize how the category is printed out, because I don't often put posts in more than one category. I know some people do, but I don't. So there's no point it printing out a list. You see, if you look there, there's an unordered list. That's what's causing that bullet, and there's no need for it to be used in an unordered list. At least not for me. It's just unnecessary markup. So we're gonna see if there's any option to customize how it outputs. So you can go back to our reference and type in the category. Okay, so it doesn't appear that there's any option to customize it, but I did see reference to a get the category function, which I think is the bare version of the category. So I think we'll look that up. So get the category. No, that won't return what I thought it would. That's for looping through the different categories, which but that's what we're doing. So we're gonna have to leave it as a list type item for now. Maybe we'll return it as jQuery later, but we can customize the styling. So we're gonna come back over here and use trusty Firebug to work out what we can target it by. So it's obviously inside our meta info.
It's 17:30.
And we're gonna, it's inside a URL of post category, so we're gonna target that URL with a class of for some reason that category's not inside that span I set for it. So we're gonna go back here, figure out why that is. Because I asked it to output there, but it didn't. So anyway, let's not worry about that for now. I'm gonna see if there's a way to only limit how many categories it returns, because like I said, I only need it to use one category. So that's for testing if a post is within a certain category. We're going to do a wild homegrown solution here. This isn't part of WordPress, and serious geeks probably wouldn't recommend this, but it's a way to get it done and only show one category without. Actually we're not going to do that because of our idea I've got coming later. So for now we're just gonna alter the styling. So if I remember correctly, it was in A, and this is a new thing. So I'm gonna. It was in a UL with a class. A post. Categories. Not categories. We're going to just display inline as well as this style none. So even if it can't respect what even if the user doesn't have JavaScript, so it can't take out the markup like we're going to do later, it's not going to appear like it's in a list. We save that and refresh. So we're just gonna see if any of that standings apply, and we're gonna see if it works if we apply it to the at the list item level instead. And that did, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna set the list items. So any list item within an ordered list with a URL, post categories, basically act like you're not in a list. To further extend that, what that not in a list type behavior, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and see if we can make it, and I'm just going to test it with an inline style to start off with. You should never do this, but this is just for quick testing. So I'm gonna say style equals display inline, and see if that helps us out anyway. Yeah, it does. It gives it properties of not being in the list. So that is something we're definitely going to use. So let's go back and add it to our real CSS file. So we're going to say just any UL with an ID, so with a class. I'll post. Categories. We're also going to set that to display inline. Now we're gonna change the line height of the actual items themselves. Remember that custom line height we set to a normal line height, so it pushes them up a bit further. We're actually going to say the heights are going to be minus 5 pixels, and just try and nudge that up a little bit further. So that's where it is now. And let's do we're not gonna get the line height sorted now, but okay. The next thing we're gonna do is add some jQuery to fix some of the issues, like the trailing thing here, and like the so whatever we're just dealing with the browser support for those attribute selectors, so to make sure they always show up in any browser, and to take this this web element out of the unordered list if we can. So one thing to note is that jQuery is already included in the file because it's used for some of the core operations. So I'm just gonna create one file called script.js. Now, you may or may not know that jQuery is included in WordPress. It does it for a lot of the core functions. You may or may not know how to use jQuery because that's not particular to WordPress. I've done previous videos on how to use jQuery, but it's a JavaScript library and essentially an engine for writing JavaScript, but it allows us to fix some of these issues. So that's what we're going to use. The first thing we're going to need to do is tell the header.php file to include the version of jQuery that WordPress has installed into our theme. So and we're going to do that before we define our own. So I believe you do that by saying open PHP WP enqueue script jQuery. I'm not too sure whether that'll work or not. I'm sure that's not exactly right, but we'll find out in a minute, won't we? So, I just made a mistake right there. I tried to load a JavaScript file before loading a CSS file, and just a general web design thing. That's always a bad idea. So I'm gonna swap those around. Put the JavaScript after the CSS file, and we're all good. Right now we need to check if jQuery is actually being successfully loaded, because I doubt I got that code right. So let us look in our head section. And unfortunately I'm not seeing any script tags being loaded, so I must have got the code wrong. So we're gonna start off by looking in the blank theme, which is the reference theme we've been using, and see if it has an include in, because I believe it does. Which, and indeed it doesn't. But just as a complete side note, we want this comment replying functions, so it checks if there is if there is a singular page, and then it includes this comment replying function. That might be the reason why in our previous tutorial the comment buttons weren't working. So we're gonna paste that in there. We're gonna do that. Before we include jQuery. And why you do this instead of do it the proper WordPress way, instead of doing jQuery, instead of just downloading jQuery and including it, there is actually a proper reason for it, and the reason is that some WordPress plugins use jQuery code, and even WordPress core. So if you did that, you could end up loading it twice without knowing it, and that has a whole load of bandwidth implications and things like that. So it's just a bad idea. And I'm a little confused about why our page just suddenly disappeared. One thing we need to add in that okay, I'm a little confused. We're gonna take that out for now, but we'll revisit that at some stage. But instead of put in queue comment reply, and we're gonna take out the if statement, and use that code to try and include jQuery again. I spelled in code wrong, in queue, as I predicted I would. So we're just gonna try putting it in queue. jQuery in queue jQuery. Refresh. and our page is still dead. What's going on? There's no HTML getting printed out at all, so let's figure out where we've gone wrong. Well, we've got a trailing thing there. Try refreshing, and yeah, that was what caused it. We just had an extra thing. We're just going to check if after all that if we look there, we do indeed have jQuery included. Version 1.6.1, one of the latest versions, so we can now access it. And you notice there's some other JavaScript that gets loaded there. Now that we've sorted that out, I'm gonna retry putting the comment replying script back in. Of course, if the comment replying script does indeed rely on jQuery, then we'd have to put jQuery first. And we close that there. No, it's killing our page for some reason. I'll look into the reason behind that before the next video, and we'll address it then. Sorry this is getting especially long, guys. I just want to do these few jQuery things before we wrap up, because in the next video I want to make it the final video, and I want us to focus on using that. I want us to focus on pushing the theme live and do the things that go together with that. So we're gonna just put a normal script include, because it's just a normal script tag. And we need to do it after jQuery, otherwise it won't work. Script type equals slash JavaScript. And source is going to be equal to wherever our theme is, because remember I talked about in the previous video how you need to dynamically link it up with your theme, because otherwise you'll have issues. So we're going to do PHP echo login for template URL, the URL of wherever our theme is. Close up PHP. Slash script .js, because it's in the root of our theme folder. So we've got jQuery. We now should have a jQuery script ready to use. And this text editor is funny with closing out JavaScript tags. It doesn't do the auto closing like it does with other tags. I've got no idea why. So hopefully we should now have as well as the jQuery, we should have we have it included, but it's included before jQuery gets included, so that might be a problem. But it's included afterwards in our HTML, so we'll see what happens. What I'm gonna write now is specific to jQuery, but it's part of building a website, and obviously it requires JavaScript to run, but these are gonna be,
It's 18 hours.
these are gonna be little things that don't really matter if the user doesn't see them. They're just nice extra things. So with that said, let's get going. Now, one thing that I should note is, if you've worked with any jQuery, you know that jQuery uses this dollar sign. Well, WordPress uses several JavaScript libraries to make its stuff happen, and several JavaScript libraries use a dollar sign. So if you use a dollar sign like normal, you can have issues. So what you need to do is var, and then think of something else you're gonna use. So I normally use a double dollar sign because it looks the most similar, but you can use whatever you want. It's going to be equal to, and by the way, I'm not gonna bother showing you the effect of what happens if that's not in there, because as you can probably see, I'm getting a, a, a little tired. I need a break from doing this video, but I want to get this done first. Equals jQuery dot no conflict. So this will ensure that whatever you, if you now do anything with this double $sign or whatever you specified, it now won't contradict with anything if you use that. But it does mean you have to use it for everything, like a DOM ready function. You need to use a $sign, and obviously a double $sign or whatever you chose, and obviously close it off properly like you normally would. So what do we actually, now that we've got access to jQuery, what do we actually want to do? Well, the first thing we wanted to do was get rid of this, or yeah, we're gonna use JavaScript to target the last actually no, we're not gonna do that right away. We're the first thing we're gonna deal with is, you know how I complained about how this web is in unordered list. So we're gonna take it out of a list so far. So what we're going to do is we're going to target the UL of post categories. And we're gonna get the HTML from it. This basically means, no we're not, we're gonna get everything from inside the list item. So if you look what's inside the list items, we only have the links, and that's the bit that we want. So using a selector is how using that selector, that's the only bit this is going to return to us. So we're going to put this, and we're going to use the HTML function. return that. And after we've got the HTML, so we need to store it somewhere. Well, in JavaScript we store things in variables, so we're gonna create a variable something like inner content or something like that. And we're gonna set it equal to that jQuery set, and then once we've done that, you can chain events in JavaScript. So we're also going to move up to that element's parent after we've got the JavaScript, and we targeted the li. So the parent's going to be the ul, the bit that we want to get rid of. So now we're at its parent. So what do we want to do with its parent? Well, we want to remove it. So we're just going to say remove. I'm not sure whether that'll work because I'm not sure whether it'll remove the content from the variable as well. But we'll just have to see. So. Oh no, actually first we need to put the variable back in. So we need to get the item that we were intending on just spitting out the variable to, which is in the same paragraph element as this. So we're going to get the span with a class of cat because that's what we want to put it into. Not forgetting to use my double here. We're just going to qualify it. Span with a class of cat. Notice I've never done any jQuery before. That's just a CSS selector. And we're gonna make the HTML of it. Drop in that content we just got. So let's just remind ourselves what this is doing. It's going to the URL with a post of categories, getting the list items, getting the HTML out of the list items, which will just be the link to the category, going up to its parent, which the parent of the list items is the unordered list, the bit that we don't want, and we're gonna remove that, and we're then gonna get the part that we do want. We're gonna put what we stored back into there. I'm just going to close that off properly. Save it and go ahead and refresh. And clearly nothing happens, so we can open up the console and refresh again, and we're getting no errors. So let's just check that our script did indeed get included. Yeah, it did. What's concerning me a little bit though is how it's getting our JavaScript file is getting included before jQuery, so that's not going to work. What we're going to do is make our we're going to go back and try header.php file, and we're going to make our file be the last thing to be printed out before the if necessary, we might just have to even put it after the WP head. I don't know yet. We're gonna cross that bridge if we come to it. So save that. Refresh. And let's check out whether it made any difference to the order that things are printed out. And no, it didn't. Our files still getting included first, which is a really bad thing. What we're gonna try to do is just put that file after the WP head tag. This is a generally bad concept, but you know what? As long as it works, who cares, right? Sometimes it just gets to that point in a project, right? And I put, plus the fact that I put 2 V's in JavaScript, that kind of helped. We're going to try it back up there with me having corrected my spelling of JavaScript. Try refreshing again. And it was still getting included before. So I know I keep chopping and changing, but I've decided we are indeed going to put it after the WP head tag and see if that makes any difference. I can't imagine that our little script will be conflicting with that many things, so it's not too big of a deal really. last ditch attempt. Let's see if we can get this to work. It's getting included after jQuery, so that's a good sign. Let's see if no, we've still got our in our original place. Let's just try one more thing, and I really am gonna stop this video then. In our script tag, what we're gonna do is, instead of I got confused. We're gonna try taking out that remove statement, so it's just grabbing the HTML, and see if that so we're just gonna grab the HTML of that element. And still no luck, so I think we're gonna give up there for now. And but like I was saying, we've accomplished quite a lot in this video, so I think that's where we're gonna leave it. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. Come and tune in to the last video where I finally push the theme live after all this hard work and get some last minute things working, so definitely tune in for that. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, you can visit this actual website, my website, tom-rogers.com, down below, as it is written down below. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. That was tiring.